Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only Anna Kelly. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yes, for those of you that watch our channel, you would have known that we missed Anna Kelly last week. She unfortunately had a close friend, best friend, pass away suddenly, and she was able to take some time and go see her before that event. But I thought we should talk about it because death happens. It's kind of like part of the process, right? But it does make you think when you lose someone close like that. So I thought we should just have a conversation, maybe tell us a little bit about her, and then what, if anything, it is meant to you to have the flexibility to get out and go see her on short notice.
Yeah, such a heavy topic, but I know an important topic. So I appreciate that you asked me to talk about it and just kind of share some thoughts, right? So my girlfriend, Christina, we met when we were 15. We were sophomores in high school. Wow. And I was new to the school. I had just moved out of living with my mom and moved to a different city to live with my dad. So it was a big transition for me. And she had kind of a similar, family background and moved in with her grandmother. And we, kind of understood each other, became really good friends. And over the years, we became best friends. And so we've been in each other's weddings. We've been through every phase in our life together, from school to coming to know the Lord to kind of a couple of years in our 20s of living it up and seeking the things of the world, and then kind of coming back to saying, we really need to grow in our walk with God. Let's go back to church together. And so we went through all of that together and kind of spiritual growth, and we're listening ears. We got together every single week. We met at Starbucks. We read books. We did everything together, right?
Wow.
So truly a lifetime friend. She was 46 in July. Wow. I'm 46 now as well. So 2/3 of our lives, we were best friends. And unfortunately, I moved to Pennsylvania in 2007. So 14 years ago, I moved away. So I didn't get to see her every day, so we talked on the phone a lot, and we had lots of plans to travel together. She came up a couple times and I went down a couple times and saw each other. And of course, now that she's gone, one of my biggest things is, gosh, I just wish I had taken more time to fly down and to take that trip. We were supposed to take a trip in 2020. The pandemic hit. We said, we'll do it in 2021. 2021, our schedules didn't coordinate, still have a pandemic. And we thought, okay, we've got to try to do it absolutely for sure in 2022. And 2022 isn't coming, and so that was one of the hardest things that kind of hit me was we get so busy in life, all of us. And if you talk to older people, their biggest regret is not usually, I wish I was more successful. I wish I had more money. It was, I wish I spent more time with the people that I loved. And every time we lose somebody close to us, that's the first thing that we think about, right? My best friend was very successful in her own right. She had a design firm. She was an author. She was a speaker, just an amazing person. But when I read her obituary, it really didn't go into much of that detail. And I thought, so many of us think, what do we want to be known for? What do we want to achieve in our successes? And what will someone write about us? And I've seen this twice now, when my grandmother passed away and when my best friend passed away. Those that loved her the most, the spouses and the children and the parents, they quickly in their grief put something together, and they don't think about all of those things they did. They just write how much they loved the person and how giving they were, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought for a second, how unfortunate that it didn't mention all the things that she did in this life. But at the same time, I realized that's not what's important. What was really important about her, and I of course, I got to see her life transform from the age of 15 to 46.
Yeah.
Was that she truly embodied, and I hope you don't mind if I go there just from a belief system and scripturally, the Bible says that there's 2 great commandments. There's 10 commandments, and everybody usually knows what those are, right? Thou shalt not steal, murder, kill, adultery, etc. But when Jesus came, he said there's only really 2, and that's love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love others as yourself. And that's the whole purpose of man. And I really believe that when we're here, how much money I left to somebody isn't going to matter. How many YouTube videos I got, how many followers I have on social, none of that really matters. What really matters is, did I love God with all my heart, mind, soul, and strength? Did I love others as myself? Did I pour into other people's lives? Did I leave a legacy of love? And for my friend Christina, she left a legacy of love. And that's what I want to leave too. And, I think that all of us, if we take time to think about what's important in life, I think most of us deep down would say the reason that we seek success, the reason that we're growing our wealth, isn't just to have more money. Maybe you start out that way, but as you grow and mature and you realize the value of people over things, memories over things, most of us really are doing it because we want to create a better life for ourselves and our families and those that we love. And I think that perspective, having lost my cousin a couple months ago to COVID and now my best friend to COVID, really is just that perspective of, I wish I had made even more time with them. I wish every time I thought about them, I actually picked up the phone instead of saying, when I get an hour or two on the weekend, I'll call. There were so many times that I thought about my best friend and thought, I need to give her a call. And then I was like, well, I'll call this weekend when I've got time. And then the kids had games and and then I didn't call. And so same thing when my cousin passed away, I had been traveling down to drop off my son in Florida and the hurricane was heading toward Louisiana and my cousin lived there. And I thought, I need to call her, let her know I'm praying for her, let her know I'm thinking for her. In the emotion and busyness of my son, I didn't call her and she was gone a couple weeks later. So for me, through my friendship and just the hard things learning through death, we can know it, but until we experience it over and over again, and all of us will experience death of people that we love throughout our life multiple times. It's taking the time to say, what did they mean to me? What was their legacy? And how should that change how I think about my own legacy? And I've been thinking a lot, as we've talked a lot, my business is Greater Purpose Capital. It's to invest for meaningful impact in the lives of my kids, in the lives of my investors, in the lives of my residents. Are we really leaving a meaningful impact and legacy on the people that we know in this world? And are we leaving a legacy of love, or are we leaving a legacy of selfishness and success just for more success and accolades and money just for the sake of money? For me, she reminded me of what I've already known, but makes me even want to be more determined and more purposeful to leave a legacy of love for everybody that I know, to take the time to create those memories, take the time to make those phone calls, schedule it in so you don't get too busy with all these other things that you have good intentions for, but schedule in time in your calendar for the people that are important to you. Make the phone call, take the trip, make the memories, and leave a legacy of love. And my friend did that. And I hope that at the end of my life, people would say the same about me. It's hard to go through it. But yet I'm at peace because I know she did well in those two great commandments. And I believe that I'll see her again in heaven someday. So it does give me great peace.
That's awesome. So thank you for sharing this about Christina. We are obviously sorry for your loss. It was, I'm sure it's very hard, but I'm glad you had the flexibility to drop things quickly and go see her. That was something that if you were busy working and this or that, you wouldn't have had that flexibility. So I'm glad you had that chance. I want to make this actionable for our listeners, the ones that are watching right now. I think there's really two things. One is, Gary Vee talks about regret all the time, right? If you're young, and I consider you and I young, at least in this context, you go to a old folks home, where people are average 80 years old, and ask them about their life. Most of them, the first thing they will talk about is regret. I regret this. I regret that. I regret this. I regret that. So I would ask you today to get quiet, go somewhere, think about those things. Is it the friends you haven't called since this or that? Is it the memories you haven't made? Is it I'm chasing this or that thing and giving up this or that in the family? Too many of you that were watching YouTube University, you're solopreneurs, you were chasing money and you were not realizing that time is coming at the expense of other things. Take this hard conversation. You could see it on Anna that it's hurting her. Take this opportunity from someone you know and trust and like. Take some quiet time and think about it. Yeah. Then the other one is priorities. Death is one of those things that kind of smacks you, and it will smack all of us. And it makes you reprioritize things. So don't Don't reprioritize things when that unfortunate event happens. Do it now. It's going to happen, but do it now. Take the opportunity to make the phone call, do the thing, make a memory, take a picture, whatever it is. Right. I wrote about in my first book, the biggest thing in the first book is my regrets that I don't have simply pictures of me standing in front of the first 8 houses because I could do it today, but it would be 50-year-old Michael. I want 30-year-old Michael and 32-year-old Michael. And don't make these mistakes, folks. So think about regret, think about priorities. Death it's going to happen around all of us eventually.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, even kind of like what I did, I'm really meticulous about time blocking, and I use it for everything to make sure that I do live my life by design, and that I give the time to the things I say are important to me. But, honestly, my friendships, I didn't have time blocked away. It was just kind of like, let's talk when we get a chance. We'll message each other. We'll text each other every once in a while. I'm going on my calendar in Google Calendar and putting on the calendar at least once every week, call a friend and then name them, block it on your time. Because if you don't do it and take action to make sure that it stays a consistent habit in your life, then you're going to feel really deeply for a while. And then you go back into your normal groove, and you mean well. Most of us mean well, but unless you get purposeful about, let me create my life by design so that from this point forward, however many days I have left, when that obituary about me is written, right? And even if it's not in paper, that people say, yes, their lives were congruent with what they said was important, and that they don't just see this was a wealthy philanthropist that, did really well in life. So take the time to really think about, what is the life that you want to live? I've said to some of my coaching students before, actually, when we're going through this exercise about creating life by design, I've said, it's kind of morbid, but write your obituary. What do you want people to say about you? When you're gone, what do you wish your life had looked like?
Wow.
Now go design that to make sure that when you do, that's exactly the life that you lived. And then go put it on your calendar to make sure that you're keeping those priorities first. So I challenge y'all, in addition to doing what you just said, Michael, write the obituary.
I like it.
And then time block your time to make sure that you're committed to being the person that you want to be.
Anna, thank you very much for sharing what had to be a difficult topic. It is something that had to be done. People need to, sometimes we need to shake them and realize that regret is out there. Sometimes we need to reprioritize. So thank you for telling us about Christina. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm glad you got to go see her. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael.